Hi everybody, Whiz here, and welcome to my video that answers the age-old question, how does BB-8's head stay on? Currently, the most popular method for actually building a prop BB-8 is something like this. A hamster wheel drive with a stick with magnets attached, and that's how the head stays on without falling off. Now, if I were to build a BB-8, I would want to have arms that come out, but the problem with this would be that, as you can see, the wheels would bump into any, arm things inside the ball. It wouldn't be able to. So, in my BB-8 that I am building right now, I'm actually doing something like this with an omnidirectional head on the top. That way you don't have a magnet. And I'm also going to be using a axle drive like the Stage BB-8. And this is the inside of the Stage BB-8, which is actually what Disney built. And as you can see here, the head is attached by magnets. But this is obviously not how the real BB-8 works. Because, obviously, in the 8th movie of Star Wars, which just came out, BB-8's head falls off when Poe Dameron's jet gets blown up. And BB-8 is flown across the room, and his head actually comes off. And we see the underside of his head, and it's a smooth piece of metal. Now, this tells us it's not an omnidirectional robot, and it's not magnets, because that would make it scrape against the head. And we know from scenes like this, and when he's in the back of the X-Wing, that his head actually sometimes levitates off, but still stays quote-unquote connected. So, how does he do this? He uses the magnetic river effect, or more specifically, a linear induction motor. What is a linear induction motor? It's the exact same thing as a regular induction motor, and it works on exactly the same principles. Let me explain how it works. Right here, you have three electromagnetic coils right here. So these are electromagnets, and you have right here a conductive piece of material, such as a copper plating. And what you'll do is you'll take this electromagnet and you'll turn it on, so this side is positive right here. Then you'll turn this one off and make this one positive. Then you'll turn it off and then make this one positive. So that makes the illusion that you have a magnet that is moving. And of course, it's a little bit more complicated, and you use a sine wave for this. So when this one over here is positive, this one over here is going to be negative, and this one is going to be maybe off or somewhere in between. But that creates the illusion that there is a moving magnet, which creates something called an eddy current. Now, an eddy current is something that is created when a magnet moves across the surface of a conductive piece of material, such as a copper sheet. As you can see here on this diagram, and you can look at this Wikipedia page if you want more information, if the magnet is moving in this direction, it creates two different magnetic currents, or magnetic circles, these two circles of current, and these two currents create their own magnetic fields. This one in the same direction as the magnetic field, this one in the opposite. And once again, the magnet is moving, so it's going to be more over one of these magnetic fields. And since in this diagram, this plate, I believe the plate is moving in this direction and this magnet is moving in this direction, so this magnet is going to be more over this magnetic field here, which will actually repel it. So it creates a force that repels it from the plate, and it also creates some resistance, so it actually using a linear induction motor, which is not actually moving a magnet, it would just create a force, which would create levitation and movement. So here we have the bottom of BB-8's head, or how I would imagine it to be on the inside, of course without like the covering on. These are all electromagnets, and they are our linear induction motor. And if BB-8 were to metaphorically spin these magnets by, moving the electric field in a circular pattern, this would simply repel his head off the ball, so it wasn't touching. And of course, that would also turn his head because there's a little bit of resistance, so if he moves some of the electromagnetic field in... Here, give me a second. Get the paintbrush. Okay. If he moved, say, the electromagnetic field over here in this direction, the electromagnetic field over here in this direction, in a circular pattern like this, this would levitate his head off the ball. But of course, it would still be attracted to the ball since it's using magnetics. And this is also assuming that the ball is made out of some copper material, if the exterior of the ball is made out of some copper material. And then he would also be able to move his head around by just moving these magnets here. And of course, he isn't actually moving them, he's just, turning them off and on. In these directions, he would be able to move his head around, just like we see in the movie. And this will leave the ball open to have space to do things like have attachments and arms and be able to do thumbs up and all that great stuff. So, I hope you liked my idea about how the real BB-8 could work. Hopefully it gave you a few ideas. And if you liked it, press the like button. And if you would like to see more stuff like this, press the subscribe button and the bell icon that isn't showing up to be notified when new videos come out. Thanks for watching.